All right, friends. Today, December 21st, is the winter solstice. My favorite holiday, as you know, are the equinoxes. The one that happens in September, we celebrated. Well, I celebrated. And the one that happens in March. Today is it's winter solstice, the first day of winter. But the good news, it's going to get brighter.
All right. Hey now. Mr. Kovacs Class. It's Mr. Kovacs Class. You might learn a ton. It's Mr. Kovacs Class.
He's interesting too.
It's Mr. Kovacs Class. And he's super cool. It's Mr. Kovacs Class.
All right, so back in the equinox time, we talked that, the Earth is tilted, and it spins on its axis, tilted relative to the plane of the sun. So that means that at different times of years, depending on where you are, you get different amount of time where you spin into sunlight. We call that daytime. I mean, every day is the same length of time, but right, and back in September, I told you about the autumnal equinox, where you spin into the light. Everywhere on Earth spins into the light for 12 hours. That will happen again in March. Since that day, people like us in the northern hemisphere, in fact, the farther north you go, the bigger the effect. Since that day, we've been spinning into the light for less and less time. Today is the day we spin into the light for the least amount of time. In fact, if you are at the Arctic Circle, today will be the day where you don't spin into the light at all. Okay, and the good news is after today, we start spinning into the light more and more. Now, of course, in the southern hemisphere, this is the first day of summer. This is the most light they get. It's kind of flip-flop. Anyway, most of you I know are happy that are excited to celebrate some kind of holiday. Around here, most of you celebrate Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
I'm sure, or some version of Christmas, and there's some of you who celebrate maybe Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Shalom.
Or Kwanzaa.
Have a great Kwanzaa.
But there's lots of other holidays that are associated with the solstice, and that's going to be soil. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that is an indigenous celebration. Yalda is it's a Persian, so Asian celebration. Inti Raymi is actually a springtime celebration. Saturnalia was an old Roman festival. And I'm thinking about, if you're in Antarctica today, it's you're going to get light all day long, but that's been happening to you for many days. St. Lucia's Day. And it's interesting because most civilizations celebrate something on today, the solstice, especially the farther you get from the equator, because the farther you get from the equator, the effect of the Earth's tilt on daylight is greater. So we find in extreme northern civilizations, they're more likely to have celebrations for the equinox and the solstice. It's just a bigger deal. If you live on the equator, every day is the equinox. If you think about it, winter is hard. Winter's always been hard, and a lot of these celebrations go back to ancient times when a good portion of your crew, your squad, may not make it through the winter. So I guess you kind of have a big blowout celebration here on the darkest of days with the idea that maybe that's the last time you'll see everybody. And then your next celebration will be in the spring. You'll celebrate the vernal equinox when you know you've made it to the end and it's going to be growing season again, right? Anyway, happy winter solstice.
Hot dog!
The focus of today, though, will be finishing up Project Beaumont. So we're going to do the first half of your presentation on Project Beaumont today. Remember, on each slide, be sure to, I've added a prompt question. Be sure to ready your answer. Right? And then also, as you know, if you're doing a presentation, you do include images. Right? So the first one obviously is like our intro slide, and you're telling me, why is Dr. Beaumont important to us? The second slide, you should be able to explain the difference between chemical and mechanical digestion. The third slide, you should be able to tell me what enzymes do. So if it's a ratty, remember, like one of your D's could be, for example, and then you could pick one of the digestion superheroes, right? And then, speaking of that, think of the digestion superheroes and tell me who is your absolute favorite. So Project Beaumont Part 1 today, or for your Part 2, you're going to do the first 4 slides of Project Beaumont, where you're demonstrating an understanding of digestion and digestive system. And then your Part 3, you're going to return to the winter solstice. Have a great day, everybody.
Ho, ho, ho.